Hi, welcome to the next edition of Wednesday Special. Today we're going to be trying out Neoform and Pioneer. Now this deck got two new cards we're trying out today, and that's Feed the Cycle, which is the new removal spell. And also I'm going to be trying out Glarb in this deck. Since most of our things that are very important, our Delve spells are four mana or higher. And just casting that off the top of our library, plus having a Neoform in hand, might be able to make the deck a little bit better. And we can surveil away cards that we don't need until we find our Neoform or our Delve creatures. That's the plan. So if you like this kind of series, for sure you smash that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification for future videos. We're on our way to 2,000 subs. Let's get there together. Let's talk about this deck list and see the deck in action. So the deck list, we have two Glarbs, we have 4 Mandrills, and 3 Tassiger. Why isn't Tassiger on Arena yet? Just put that card in Arena, please. We have Thoughtseize, we have Fatal Push, just best removal. Neoform, namesake card. Wail of the Forgotten is a nice little, dig 3. Pick the best card, mill the rest. Has flexibility, which is nice. We have a Gaze, set up mill. We also have Feed the Cycle, like I said, new card. And Stubborn Denial, so we can get our Atroxa down, we can protect it. And since both of our creatures are 4 power also, so that also helps. Then we have Founding the Third Path. This could also just be if it's the last mode, I think, is the most critical part here. We can get a Neoform from the graveyard and then get a Atroxa. And plus, it's a different permanent type to find off of Atroxa, which is nice. I think it's 19 lands, if I'm not mistaken. 2 Duress Aside, 2 Brave Fulfillments. You can get Amalia, so that's pretty important for 1 mana. We have 2 Pick Your Poisons. We have 2 Golgari Charms for a little bit of enchantment hate and mini sweeper. Glissa for alternative way to win the game. Dispute for the control matchups, and Jangata. You could definitely argue that we could be playing Blot Out instead of Enfeeblement, but then again we have 4 Pick Your Poisons, so I think that's more than enough to deal with the Vein Rippers. That is what we're trying out today. See if this deck has what it takes. Let's get into it. Hollow Fountain passes. Alright, Sanctum, Gaze. I don't need any of these. So bid them all. They go. Island, sure. Oh, Phantom, so it's Spirits. Founding the Third Path. I have to go to mode 2 and mill myself. Pass the turn. Pathway. It's gonna get to the point where he can't really tap out anymore. Sure, take the 1. Get Tilda. So we do, I guess, Fatal Push, and we will snipe there. So we get to play Thoughtseize, Curious Obsession, play Hootie, McGee's, the original McGee. Yeah, the original McGee. Because the other McGee would be Thrashy McGee, which is in Ixalan. Cons happened way before that. So he has Catilda, another one in hand. He does have a semi-counter spell. Lord, sure. Smacks me for 3. Take it. He does have a counter spell up. Another land. Not ideal. So we're going to go ahead and pay a blue. Go ahead and gaze. So graveyard. Graveyard. Eat up the graveyard. And then play a tap Watery Grave. And start beating you down. Question is, can I race a Catilda? Assuming shoves in there for 4. We're at 5. We're drawing a Stubborn Denial. Go to combat. Shove in there for 8. I don't think there's a world where I'm winning from this point, though. I mean, I'm taking 4 down to 1. And I can't really play anything else. Unless magically I top deck a Neoform is the only way I'm saving myself here. Rattles. That's GG's. Okay, so pick your poison. Very efficient answer for a bunch of flying creatures. Mystical Dispute, potentially. Feed the Swarm is not as mana efficient. Trim back on Whale. Also, Denial's fine. Maybe trim back on Thoughtseize. What's the last card I want to cut here? I want to keep my Glarb. Maybe a Founding. We're not like that. This is not a keepable hand. This is maybe a little bit better. Put back a Hoot. Play a Marsh. Say go. Plays a Wanderer. Snipe it. Founding. Uptick. Mill myself. Pass the turn. That's not very good. I guess I'm doing Fatal Push. Wait. Yeah, I can't do anything in between. So, go ahead and Fatal Push. Gaze. Crap. Okay, no, I don't have a single Atroxa at the yard yet, so that's good. And we'll go ahead and drop down a Hoot. Cancel. I should not can't exile the Neoform. Pass the turn. Invasion gets my denial. So we gaze. Please no Atroxas. Top. Grave. Flash it back. Grave. Top. Shove. Say you. Just passes. So we'll play Founding. It kind of has to counter that, right? So we go to mode 2. We'll move you and smack you. I need the mana untapped to Neoform. Say go. Got game 2. Run it back. So Pathway and a Wanderer. Another land. That's not what I'm looking for. So he does not counter this. Grave. Pass the turn. Tap land. Smacks me. Sure. Down to 19. Tassiger. I think I just pass. Do a gaze on his end step. Take my beats. Down to 18. So attempt to gaze. Graveyard all of this. I don't see Pick Your Poison being necessarily useful. We draw another land. By Founding. Spell Queller. Why can't I counter that? What is going on? Seriously, what is going on with Mystical Dispute? Like, it doesn't work some of the time. I don't get it. Mystical Dispute has some serious issues. Curious Obsession. Hits me for 4. We'll play an untap land. Massacre. And we just pass. So waste. Shoves in there for 4. I'm at 8. They draw a card. Another land. Not really helpful. So we'll go ahead and attempt to pay a Tassiger and see what he gives me. Thoughtseize. That's definitely arguably the least impactful along with the Ape. So we'll shove in there. Say go. So I only have 2 turns to put together an Atroxa. I don't know how I'm doing that, but we're going to try. Just plays a land and smacks. Okay. So I'm at 4. I'm at 4. And I don't know what I could do at this point. That Spell Queller resolving was a problem. Attempt to counter. He definitely has a counter, I imagine, in his hand somewhere. But I don't get what's going on with this dispute. It should have let me counter it. Fatal Push. I mean, that is a magic card. Attempt to push it. Okay. Go to combat. Attempt to shove at you for 4. Probably could put a land there, but it's fine. Spell Queller. Okay, now I can counter it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Because I had it. Like, why I couldn't use it? Okay. Hits me to 1, so I can't use my Mana Confluence anymore. Go to combat. Shove. I doubt this Neoform is resolving, though. And it might really backfire that I didn't play a land last turn to pay for a dispute. Spell Queller. Okay. GG's. 0-1. Let's get into the next. Through PayPal, I'm offering for $20 play your deck through League. I also give you an article about how to improve the list, and as well as some sideboard guides in very particular matchups. If you want to check out, the link is in the description. Now, let's get back into the video. Yours. This hand looks pretty reasonable. Thoughtseize. I'm definitely picking the Prankster. Say you. Now, the question is, did I see a... I did not see a Spell Pierce. That's important. Slide a hand. I just need a green source and some self-mill cards. Fatal Push is none of those things. So we'll just play that tap. Say go. Like I said, I just need green mana and some mill cards to get these hoots down. Bents. Profit. Sure. And what do we top deck? Please let it be one of those 2 things. Downside is I think this is a pretty bad matchup because they could just keep looping Phoenixes to block the Atroxa, which might be a problem, but we shall see. So they pass. So we get a whale. We will definitely look top 3, which is like the perfect card. So hopefully we get a green source, but it looks like a Pierce is inbound. Nope, free the Fae. That's not as bad. I got myself a green source. I don't have enough to do this yet. I could have just put that in play tapped, but it doesn't matter. So 4 mana in the yard, sleight of hand. No Phoenixes yet, so that's good. I wonder how this matchup actually fares. So we draw up a Seiju. That's nice. So I'm pretty sure that means we should be able possibly go off this turn. Play Hoots. Attempt to cast Neoform. Scoops it up. Got it. So against this matchup, we have Disputes to counter and maybe a couple Pick Your Poisons. No, I don't think I need that many. Trim 1 Whale. Denial is important. 1 Fatal Push, because Push and Pick Your Poisons kind of overlap. Maybe 1 Thoughtseize, 2 Thoughtseizes. I don't like that. So plays an island. Passes. Mana Confluence. Gaze. Founding the Third Path is interesting. Yard and Yard. Ship the turn. So play the Beseiju. Founding. We will go to mode 2. Make us mill. And ship it. Sorry if you're noticing a flicker in my lights. Assuming I just need to go up there and take 1 bulb out. For something one of them is going bad. Sorry. I already drew my card. Go ahead and surveil. Atroxas. Oh gosh. Top. That's going to be very difficult. And I don't have a Hoots to potentially go off. Pass the turn. So I need to go ahead. Tassiger. Now the question is here, can I afford to go for the Neoform? I probably have a Pierce and I can't leave up a Denial. So what I think I need to do is just pass. Counter it. Might sprock a negate. Okay. Go. So Glorb is going to have to be the one that takes care of this one. Shredder. And I know I'm drawing an Atroxa. Glorb for the rescue. Come on, you got a removal for Glorb too? Who kills the frog, man? Poor Glorb. You know we're drawing a Neoform, which is a little bit of a problem. Ashiok. Sure. Smacks me. Didn't he just mill me? No, he milled himself. So we cast. Make him sack his Shredder. And say go. So he mills himself and exiles my Pick Your Poison. Treasure Cruise. I'm pretty sure this is GG's. Like, I don't think I can come back. Free the Fae. And a Consider. Smacks me with a couple Arclight Phoenixes. So I can't really do anything with Hoots. I'm just going to scoop it up and go to game 3. So I think I bring in Glissa. Go down the Whales. Run it like that. Tap land. Say Goo. Pathway on blue. Sleight of hand. And passes. So we shock ourselves. Founding. We will put it on 2. Mill ourselves. Say go. Canal. And passes. So that gets exiled. And we will not cast it. Play Tassiger. Stroke. What? Do I have to click it in a different order? Okay, I guess. So frustrating. Like, Shredder, sure. So do I have to click the freaking dispute and move it to the thing and then pay? Is that what I have to do to make this thing work correctly? Because it's ridiculous. Get rid of the Ashiok. Pass. Yeah, I think I have to do it that way. Alright, that happens. Yeah, take it. Alright, that's not a bad top deck. So we just graveyard. 1, 2, 3 Hoots. I don't want to try to, I'm going to try not to do the gazes. So play Hoots, say go. Now the question is, does he have a removal spell for this? Profit. Opt. Alright, what do you have left over? I just need to dodge Lightning Axe. Treasure Cruise gone. That's good. Treasure Cruise. Please no Lightning Axes. Looks like another cruise. Okay, that gets triggered. That's a 9-11. Take my beats. So I'm kind of all in on this Neoform. Go digging. Take Denial. Sunslayer. Overgrown Tomb. Play a tap land. Ship the turn. So at this point in the game, I need to just counter whatever he does and pray that I can block here, gain 8, and gain enough to not die the other Shredder. Free the Fae. That does not contribute to Shredder, so I'm going to have to let that go. I just can't allow him to draw any extra cards this turn. That has to be countered. But these Shredders might just get there. So I have to counter that. Spell Pierce. Ouch. So I can kill the big Ledger Shredder. But 10? That's Xaxes. No, that's definitely not Xaxes. Assuming he disperses the counters in a fashion, right, where it's logical. And he pumps the small one too. Because he wouldn't just put them all in the big one. That would make literally no sense. So now that is the big one. Okay, you got me. 0-2. Let's get into the next. I am now offering Patreon and Locals content exclusive. It includes sideboard guides, budget guides, exclusive videos, as well as other types of content. If you want to check out the link, is in the description. Now, let's get back into the video. Watery Graves, you. Alright, we just need some self-mill cards. We got plenty of those. Oh, humans. Sweet. We drew a self-mill card. That's pretty based. Look at us. We made it. Go ahead and mill. Say you. Now we just need Hootie McGee's to come down. Now, this is definitely the weakest of the but two in this hand, given that we only have one green source. Sure. Take the beats. And Afenza, huh? That's pretty... Alright, I guess I have to do Gaze, since that's the only card in my graveyard I even remotely want to cast. We'll Gaze. Just start binning everything. I don't need more lands, I don't think. Next turn, I think I just pass, right? Seems like the best move. I don't want to expose my Tassiger to a removal spell. So I could do both in one turn. Adeline, sure. Bolster, huh? Anafenza. Doing its job. Okay. I don't necessarily need that. So first things first, we need a Tassiger. And try to keep... Well, I guess we don't have any in the yard that matter. We Tassiger. Neoform. So we Neoform. Or Troxa. And we get Glarb, because it's just super cool. Get a Denial. And a Founding. Ship the turn. Next turn, we can leave up a Denial. He could have a Brutal Cathar. Or another choice of removal spell, which would beat me. Shoves in there. Alright, so I have to block the Adeline. Treacherous Greed. And passes. So I think I play a tap land. We're here to try out the new guy. So we will play the Blarb. Smack you. Say go. I think we're going to win this game. Dauntless Bodyguard, sure. Now, any kind of non-creature removal spell we could deal with. Gives that indestructible. Fatal Pushes. We will attempt to counter that. And a Champion. Bolsters. Thalia. Bolster. Geez, that's a lot of bolstering. So he passes. We get to draw a card. This is what I envision. Hootie's coming off the top. We get there. We will play some Sun Slayer, because it can kill it, and raise. Go down. Trim down on whales. Actually, I really don't like Thought Seizes. I think I keep the whales in. Golgari Charm I don't need. I think I just run it like that. Oh, what do you know? Leyline Binding. A Leyline of the Void. That's a problem. Thought Seizes me. Probably takes Push or Glissa. Either one. Yeah, there goes my push. Well, that is interesting. I still think I Gaze. So I think I went Shores, Push, engraved the land. I don't need that many lands. Dauntless Bodyguard. Land. Ships it. Play a Shores. Ship the turn. You have a Fatal Push. Depending on what he does here. I don't think I Fatal Push this 2-1. I think I just take my beats. I do need to be wary that we need to keep enough lands to actually hardcast his Mandrels. Okay. Kill the Bodyguard then. We get to untap. Play Darkslick Shores. Play Glissa. Say Gew. So I guess Glissa can get in there and maybe eat up a Leyline. So I think I go to combat. Shove in there. Do you offer a Chomp at the Adeline? So that happens. We get to blow up the Leyline and just pass. We have a Feed the Swarm up for the Adeline. Pay with additional 1. We don't need to make it 1/1 tokens. I could take 2. You know, we could exchange beats here, depending what your last card is. Sacks it, draws 3, drains me. Tassiger. So we get frisky, a little frisky. And we draw. Founding, that is interesting. Play the Founding. Uptick it. Mill ourselves. And I guess just play a Tassiger and say goo. Sanctum, sure. What's your last card? Adeline. I guess you have 2 more cards left. You could have removal. Fatal Push. That was like the perfect timing for a Fatal Push. Go to combat. Shove in there. And we will pick draw a card. The opponent said he's getting owned. I'm sorry. We will Neoform. Stack. Get an Atraxa. Denial. Founding. Botanical Sanctum. In a Hoots and a Neoform. Play the Botanical Sanctum. Say you. So I think we might be getting our first win. After getting... Okay, that happens. So that means my Stubborn Denial's offline. Scopes it up. 1 and 2. Let's get into the wrap-up. So what do we learn this week about overall about this deck? Glarb was pretty sweet in the deck. It deck said when it did kind of go off, it was only down for 1 turn, and the opponent immediately scoops, realizing that it's kind of over, right? Glarb is just too big of a threat to come back from. So Glarb did his job. Then again, he did get answered, I believe, 1 time too, once he immediately came down. But finding the third path was pretty good at certain points of the game. Other times it was extremely awkward because it does force you to exile. If it said exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery, it'd be a much better card. It was just so weird having to guarantee eat 1 that I didn't necessarily want to cast or could cast. So I got stuck 1/-1 in my yard, which really affected my delve spells. So that was kind of awkward. Besides that, the rest of the deck really, I think, is pretty good overall. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think about Neoform in the current Pioneer format. Can it come back? Does it have the tools and everything else to come back and maybe win a RCQ or something like that? Let me know all that down in the comment section. I do think this deck could be pretty reasonable. The downside is it better than Phoenix, right? That's like its competing sidekick. That and Greasefang, right? Are all graveyard-based strategies. Which one's alternatively the best? Probably Phoenix, because the plan B, right, is just to drop down a Drake, which is just really good. The plan B of this deck is Glissa Sunslayer, which actually, ironically, is better at actually answering the hate pieces for this deck, right? As you've seen in the last match, where you're able to actually just pop the Leyline of the Void and continue, potentially, got our Atraxa down from there. So that is something is pretty interesting about this particular deck list. I'm not sure if Blarb should be in the list, or like I said, it should just be something like Prankster, right? Because that does fill up the yard by 4. Prankster does a little awkward. I guess it does get your Neoform back. So I want to know, what do you guys think about this in the deck list? Down in the comment section. But until next time, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And Blarb was awesome, and I'll talk to you soon.